people injured. You met the families of those who are injured. Of course, we heard some of them. They're completely emotional right now. The Chief Minister saying, let the BJP do politics, we'll do our work. What do you have to say?
We don't want politics. BJP told to CM, you done the celebration. We are not told any, you do celebration. Why are you blaming me? You came to a hospital. Just 2 minutes. You went away. I am from last 1 hour I am in the hospital. They want dead bodies. You are not given my son life. You give me early dead body. They are asking. They are crying from last
I heard
1 hour.
One of the family members were saying, please hand over the body as soon as possible.
What you done? I called all the DCs, DGP, Salim, and Dean of Medical College. I telephone. Immediately you have to do. Immediately give the at least body. You are not give the life. At least you give the body. This is the shame to the Congress
the Chief
party.
Minister, while he had a press conference, also said that they didn't expect the kind of crowds that turned up. They thought that 35,000 is a capacity, a little over can come up, but they didn't really expect the kind of crowds that actually came in.
You don't know anything means. Why are you a CM, become the CM? You are not expecting, you are not expected crowd. How you become the CM?
Another thing I want to ask is the Chief Minister also said that he does not want to bring politics into it. He does not want to compare other stampedes. He talks about the Kumbh stampede. He says there 50 to 60 people as well died, but he does not want to draw parallels here. And he says stampedes happen.
We don't expect from the CM. Bombay happen, celebration. Any death happen? In Calcutta, celebration last year.
What could have been done better according to you?
Let us tomorrow 11 o'clock. What is your problem? You do tomorrow 11 o'clock. The players come. They will take rest. Morning 11 o'clock. Make the arrangement, security, everything. Why two programs you done?
One of the reactions that came in is that some of the players were not available. Some of the foreign players were flying away from the country, and that's why they had to do it today.
No, that is the reason. That is they are telling. Now they are telling coming Bangalore now. They are staying in Bangalore now. What happens to tomorrow?
Well, thank
so,
you.
I say okay, anything. Players not available, anything. At least arrangement, you do arrangement. What is the problem doing the arrangement? No police. Every police in the Vidhan Sauda. No police in the street. It is not failure of the police. It is not police of the officials. It is a failure of the government. You made the mistake. This is the murder of this government. This is the government is the responsible of this death. They are the death. They want a celebration credit. Yes, you want the celebration credit. Take this also. Take the responsibility of this. You take it. I demand you take it.
Well, that was the leader of the opposition, Mr. R. Ashok. Very strong worded statement coming in from Mr. R. Ashok about what the Chief Minister had to say, about what the demands are. He's saying, well, they wanted to take credit for the celebrations. Now let them take credit, or rather let them take the responsibility for the lives that have been lost. And also saying that arrangements were not made, talking about how police were all deployed around the Vidhan Sauda, nobody there around the Chinnaswamy Stadium, various other aspects that he touched on upon.
All right, Deepak, just be with us. We've got some new footage which is coming in now of the stampede as it took place. Let's run these images. You have an idea of the crowds over here, people jostling for space over there, the situation getting progressively out of control. The most startling statistic, the most startling number in all of this is that up to between 2 and 3 lakh people had assembled. The police, the authorities seem to have no idea of that. You can see people collapsing over here in the midst of these crowds. 11 people at least have lost their lives. 47 people have been injured. But the number of those with injuries, perhaps even severe, may be significantly more than that. At this juncture, however, of the 47, what I'm now told, who are injured, we are told that they are all right, by and large. But this is new footage coming in of people who've been crushed in the stampede, and desperate efforts to try and lift them, pat them, try and get them up over here. This was a situation which was meant to be a celebration. It's turned into this horrific tragedy, one of the worst that we've seen in recent times. when it comes to Stampede, something which unfortunately in our country keeps happening over and over again. Yes, this is a colossal failure of the administration in being unable to understand the extent of the crowds which would be present. It is certainly a colossal failure of the administration and not having enough security personnel deployed. We will talk about all of that in a little while from now. I'm joined by Prashant JS, the spokesperson of the BJP, Prakash Singh, former Director General of Police, Tehseen Poonawala with us, Professor Sanjal Shastri at Flame University, and the great Farooq Engineer, the former India cricketer. Farooq bhai, let me come to you first. You know, we were meant to have a discussion today where we were celebrating cricket, we were celebrating, the victorious RCB. We were meant to sort of celebrate Virat Kohli as well. Unfortunately, we are talking about a ghastly, ghastly situation. Your thoughts at this tragedy that's taken place? Farooq Saab.
Well, Vishnu, we've done some very happy interviews in the past. But this is a very, very, very sad and disappointed Farooq Engineer addressing thousands of miles away I am. We're not here to play a blame game. But first and foremost, my heartfelt condolences to all the bereaved parents. It was so sad to see. I'm a parent myself. To see your young child or your daughter trampled to death or something, it's a shocking thing. And even more shocking was to hear the celebrations were still going on in spite of all this. We are a cricket-frenzied nation. Cricket is a religion in our country. As an ex-Indian cricketer, I'm hugely proud of that. But where there's frenzy, there's crowds. And unfortunately, someone has to be accountable for this, because the celebration that turned into a tragedy may possibly be, better controlled in my mind. They came only to cheer for their heroes, and some of them lost their lives, sadly lost their lives, women and children. I mean, I'm in tears thousands of miles away, and my heart bleeds for everyone here. Such a tragedy, because cricket is a game that's meant to be enjoyed. I mean, they enjoyed RCB winning after so many years. It was wonderful. Congratulations to them. But did anyone envisage, lakhs of people turning up in a stadium where the capacity was only about 30-odd thousand? I don't know. Many questions have to be asked, and someone has to be held accountable. But as I'm saying, I'm not here to play a political game. It's just a sad day for Indian cricket, and I'm deeply, deeply saddened by it all.
The president has just tweeted. She says the loss of lives in the tragic happening at a stadium in Bengaluru is shocking and heartbreaking. My condolences to the bereaved families and prayers for the speedy recovery of the injured. Let me go across to Mr. Prakash Singh. Sir, dealing with massive crowds is nothing new in India. It's the job of the police, it's the job of the administration to figure out something like this. And if it's too big to handle, then you ensure that it doesn't handle. Is it not surprising that now in 2025, after so many stampedes and tragedies, this sort of thing keeps going on? It just shows a desperate failure of the administration. I mean, that's my reading. What do you think, sir?
Well, Vishnu, I think the government and the police, at both the levels, there has been complete mismanagement of the victory celebrations. It's not that we don't know how to manage such crowds. In fact, we have managed much bigger crowds. During the Kumbh Mela, you would recall on weekdays, we had crowds of up to 4 crores. Not 3 lakhs, but 4 crores or 5 crores. That is the kind of crowd we managed, and without any major event, the bathing festival went on. But here they could not manage. Now, firstly, it seems there was no clarity about the kind of program they are going to have, which is very strange. Yeah, but whether they are whether they will have it at the Chinnaswamy Stadium or at the Vidhan Sauda, this kind of confusion should not have been there. Secondly, once it was decided that there will be celebration at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, I think arrangements should have been in place. And the chief minister to say that we didn't have enough time to prepare, that is not acceptable either at the government level or at the police level. Once you decide, you have to have enough manpower. Enough manpower was not there. Then one of the very basic principles of crowd management is access control. If the stadium has a capacity for only 35,000 people, once the stadium was filled, I think all roads leading to the stadium should have, there should have been checkpoints where the inflow of crowd should have been stopped instead of the entire crowd of 2 lakh being allowed to come to the stadium and then trying to jostle their way and push their way into the stadium. The basic principle of access control was not exercised. Then it seems the regulatory orders were not in place. Everything was done in a very ad hoc manner, and therefore the systems just collapsed. And there was no evacuation plan. There was no emergency protocol. I saw on the TV screen the ambulance there was no passage for the ambulance. With great difficulty it could steer its way to evacuate the dead and injured. So it was a completely mismanaged show by the government and the police, and there can be no justification for this kind of thing. The Indian police know very well the crowd, the art of crowd management, but here I think. There has been a lot of confusion about the decision at the decision-making level, what will be held. There was no anticipation about the kind of crowd. There was no assessment about the crowd. You have drones these days, and the drones could have warned that people are sort of heading towards the stadium in large numbers through different routes. Those routes could have been blocked. So
I take your point, sir. It's just unbelievable how things spiraled out of control. Tehseen Poonawalla, I know you aren't affiliated with the Congress party. The reason I say so is because there is nobody from the Congress over here because they chose not to be part of this particular program, presumably other television programs. Isn't that a huge disappointment when there is accountability, when there are people who want to ask questions? There's nobody from the Congress to answer them.
Vishnu, at the onset, I want to extend my condolences to the family members of those who've lost their lives and to everyone who's injured. I wish them a speedy recovery. I agree that this shouldn't have happened, and what a celebration turned into a tragedy. Today is not a day to do politics. I was on NDTV even when the Stampede at the Mahakumbh happened. Mr. Prakash Singh may not remember this, but there was a Stampede and on the same day flowers were showered. And I didn't do politics then, I will not do politics now. Let me just put 3 or 4 things across. In the last 1 year, Vishnu, your opening remarks have been honestly a slap in the face. India's seen multiple tragedies of Stampedes, be it in Uttar Pradesh in 2 events, be it in Telangana, here in Bangalore and other such places. And I think that there has to be now a national protocol set in place of how crowd management happens. I do agree with Mr. Singh. With the advent of drones, AI technology, we can close off routes. There are better management systems that could be put in. No police, no officers would want a tragedy of this sort. I do hope what the Honorable Chief Minister said, he's not shirked responsibility, he's come in the front. He said a magistrate inquiry in 15 days. I believe the organizers there should be an FIR, they should be looked at and they should be punished. Accountability must be set, no if, no but. We cannot be a nation that allows our people and lives to be lost this way, be it in any